Hello, and thank you for joining me today on Live with a Purpose. Worship. What is worship, really? Worship in the Bible is giving honor to God, acknowledging God. But it is not just, for instance, praising his name and saying good things about him, not just making things up, but actually the things that are actually descriptive of who he is and what he's done. But worship is talking about God and to God on his terms, not on our terms. We're always trying to do things our way. Today we have this short story that is summarized with the women at the well and Jesus. The women in Samaria, which were really outside of the people of God, and they had their own temple on Mount Gerizim, as opposed to Jerusalem. And this was part of the fight that they had with the Jews. And Jesus tells her about who she is. And her question is, well, where should we worship? So everyone knew that they had to honor the God or gods, but they were going to do it on their terms. And Jesus says that's not exactly the way that works. In John 4:23 and 24 is summarized. Jesus says, "But the hour is coming and is now here when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth." So what is spirit and truth? Basically, spirit and truth is honoring God with all of your heart, mind, soul, and strength, acknowledging that he is other, that he is not you, he is not me. He is creation, the power of creation, the designer of the universe. He is life, he is existence. He is joy, he is peace, he is love. He is, as he told Moses, I am that I am. God is not like us. And the woman in Samaria and the Samaritans, they worship their way. And they said, well, you guys worship your way. But God says, no. There's one way to worship God, and Jesus was saying there's a time coming when you won't need a temple, because essentially you are the temple. The Bible tells us that we are the temple of God. And so we must behave as if the Holy Spirit is actually dwelling in us, which he is, if you're a believer in God. And so we must walk a different way. We must have a different mindset. It's about changing our perspective on things. So what is worship? Worship is honoring God on his terms, acknowledging his holiness, acknowledging that we are weak, that we are finite, but that he loves us anyway. And he enjoys our company. He wants us to enjoy his as well. Thank you for joining me today on Live with a Purpose.